Good Wednesday morning, East Tennessee. My name is David Aldridge, Chief Meteorologist of Captain Accurate Weather, coming to you by way of the Captain Accurate Weather Command Center. We've got a lot to talk about with what will be a tropical storm, most likely, in parts of Tennessee by later this week. I'm talking about Thursday into Friday morning. We've got a lot of wind that we'll be dealing with, but not today. We have a lot of rain that does start today, so think of this as a 3-day event. That may be more challenging for some of you. Some neighbors may have it worse than you. It's just one of those situations that may be location dependent. We've got some visibility, maybe some reductions in fog this morning, down to a mile in Wartburg and Morgan County. I see maybe a few hot spots or maybe some gray areas there in the Smokies around Mount LeConte. So there might be some patches of fog this morning. Visibility down about 5 miles at McGee-Tyson. Temperature right now is 69 degrees. That may not seem that cool, but it's more humid. Dew points are in the upper 60s as well, so it does feel stuffy. We have a 70-degree temperature now in Sevierville, 70 in Athens, and current temperature in Crossville, waking up at 65 degrees. If you're on the call, would love to say hi to you. I got a quick note from Michael Hawk. He's on YouTube. He says, batten down the hatches. Good morning, all. Glad to see his face there, smiling face. And we got over Steve Stowe. Good morning. He's got his sunshine. That's optimistic thinking. A little bit hazy sun today, but Steve, I'm thinking mainly gray today. Mainly gray is my expectation here on a Wednesday. By the way, 69 currently in Oak Ridge and Clinton. Current temperature in Morristown. Talbot, about 68. We've got 69 or so around Jefferson City and Dandridge. So that's our temperature now. We have dew points I mentioned they're swampy. 70-degree dew point is a good indication of very stuffy air, and we have that in Maryville, Sevierville, and Athens at this particular time. I want to show you the wind speeds. Again, obviously, because we have fog, we're not going to have much wind, but the winds will be a factor later this week, particularly Thursday night into Friday morning when the winds may be gusting 45 to 50. You didn't just say that. 45 to 50. That's at a minimum. I think the Smokies will be higher. But again, today, hardly any wind, 3 to 8 miles per hour. In fact, as I get to my note here, I did mention that we hit 88 degrees yesterday. It was 89 in Oak Ridge. I was expecting 89. We picked up, believe it or not, 0.67 inches of rain since midnight. What? I didn't get that kind of rain. 0.67 has fallen at the airport since midnight this morning at McGee-Tyson. Who would have thunk it? We haven't been focused so much on temperature and wind. Let's talk about the rain, because that's the other aspect. Flood watch is in effect until 11 o'clock Thursday. But that could be extended. I suspect it will. And maybe expanded. Some areas in Crossville, Wartburg, and La Follette, you're not even under the watch. This, again, comes by way of our friends at the National Weather Service in Morristown. Crossville, Jamestown, specifically Fentress and Cumberland County, are governed by the National Weather Service in Nashville. So they will make the decision. They coordinate. They do communicate regularly. I do know that. But flooding possible for rivers, creeks, and streams until 11 o'clock Thursday. Just be flexible. That's why another great reason to have the free Captain Accurate Weather app is to be prepared. And are you really going to show this? I am. I mean, you might not think it's that possible that you have flooding safety questions this morning, but maybe you have problems by Thursday morning. By Thursday morning, some of you are like, I'm sure glad he showed me that, because you might just need the reminder that it's better not to plow through. If you see water on the roads, it doesn't take much. 6 inches of water that's rushing can sweep you right off your feet. 12 inches of water can sweep a car SUV all the way. And it's always best to turn around, like this car is illustrating, and find another route. Again, maybe the kids in the back seat will remind you, Mom, Dad, weatherman say you should turn around. Yeah, even if you think you're invincible in your SUV, chances are you might not be when you talk about 3 to 6 inches of rain or more coming into town in the next 3 days. Moisture deficit, these are the hot spots. These are the areas that could really use a drink of water. Some water areas that are really dry. I'm looking at Wartburg and Clinton, looking at Decatur, Clingman's Dome. Some areas over the last 30 days are exceedingly dry, and the orange areas would represent 2 to 3 inches below where they might want to be by this time in the calendar year. So the deficit, clearly we need the rain, but we're going to get maybe too much too fast. As I mentioned yesterday morning, our cup may overflow. So be careful what you wish for, be careful what you pray for. As my mom used to say, still says it, she said, don't pray for patience because God will give it to you. Even though you're waiting, it's still waiting. Now, I'm joking, but you seriously, we're talking about overflowing this area with rain, and you won't know necessarily what to do with it, because so it's probably going to be going down the sewer drain as it hits a very hard, drought-stricken surface. Today, though, 76. That's a far cry from 88 yesterday. High temperature, 76, Kingston, Morristown, 78, Newport, and 73 in Oneida. So mid-70s expected here on a Wednesday, much cooler. Normal high is 80, so that's my expectation. If you look back, we did break the heat wave Heat wave, I didn't even know we had one. We had 4, not 3. We had 4 days consecutive at 90 that started last Friday. We had 91, Saturday, 92, and then Sunday, 93. That was the hottest day of the actual calendar month. I mean, for the month of September, the first day of fall. Isn't that funny? I mean, Mother Nature has a way of, like, a sense of humor. Hottest day of the month happened to be the first day of autumn. And we'll talk about that because there's like a 3-day time lapse, at least. Because when you talk about the equinox, equal day, equal night, your sunrise time should match the sunset time, but it didn't. Not on Sunday. Kind of matches today. I'll get to that more in a moment. But 88 was the high yesterday. If we only hit 76 today, that wouldn't surprise me. Kind of a cool day. Kind of a cool day, all things considered. All right, no more delays. Let's get to the radar. Ultimate Doppler radar shows some downpours right now in red in northern parts of Knox County. Specifically, I'm looking over here north of Fountain City, back toward Corinth and Antioch, and they slide up to the east and northeast Jefferson City, Talbot, Flat Gap, and Piedmont. Some of these areas are getting some downpours at this particular time. And again, the green shaded counties refers to the flood watch, the aerial flood watch, which is in effect until 11 o'clock tomorrow morning, and it's Thursday morning, and it could very well be extended. But this is what it's looked like over the last 8 hours. I mean, it's been pretty active overnight. Not everybody's had a downpour, but some of you have. In fact, we had a tornado confirmed in parts of our area between Hancock and Hawkins County. We'll get more information from the Weather Service today, I'm sure, after they do a survey. Because they're in Morristown. Won't take them long to get to further north to Hawkins and Hancock County, but there was a confirmed tornado there yesterday. By the way, if you're hungry for some lunch ideas, Marcos.com, a great idea because they deliver. They might even deliver, but they'll might even deliver when it's raining. I'm sure they will. Hardin Valley Ferry at Maryville, Fountain City Halls, Oak Ridge, Middlebrook Pike. They have a magnificent pizza called the Pepperoni Magnifico for less than $10. And you might be attracted to the Pozzoli. I love it. It's the pepperoni and sausage at the top. That's my favorite. It's for less than $6 for a limited time. So check out Marcos.com. They are a great sponsor for Captain Accurate Weather. So with rain, even though it may not be raining at your house today, I have a 100% chance of rain today. It's already rained. It's at 0.67 before 7 o'clock this morning. We had that as of 6 a.m., 0.67. And with this rain coming in stages, I believe before the end of the day, many of us, and not everybody in our viewing area, will have had a chance to get a quick little shower or downpour. And that will be the concern heading into Thursday as well. Radar looks pretty quiet across the upper plain states, and I see more wet weather across parts of the Great Lakes. And of course, all eyes will be on the Gulf of Mexico as a storm known as Helene will be making her approach toward Florida in the next 24 to 36 hours. I've got a couple of notes from you. I say good morning. Diane Babinski's smiling face. She's on YouTube. We got a lot of YouTubes today. She says, good morning. Mary Morgan's on Facebook. She's my first Facebook post today on the comment section. She says, good morning, David. Nice day to you and your family. Janet Potts, also on here. She says, pouring rain with strong lightning strikes in Talbot at 6:42. So thank you for that update, Janet. Always appreciative when we get a weather report. Carrie is on here, too, with her yellow rose. She says, it's a rumbling and a rolling and a raining in Morristown. Sounds like a song. I love it. Everyone have a great day. Enjoy the rain, she said, but be safe. Yes, we're getting what we've prayed for and wished for, but sadly it might come at a cost, like a flooded basement, or if I don't have a basement, a flooded backyard. So you could see a lot of interesting weather in the next 24 hours. And our last note here before I get moving again, Philip Bradley Clapp says, good morning, David. Seeing some distant lightning from my place in Hardin Valley. Thank you all for your notes. Appreciate you all being here. I want to get to the nuts and bolts, which would be the bigger story, which is Helene and how she will impact us. Just to bring you up to speed, because we picked up 0.67 inches since midnight this morning, we're now up to 1.93. So we're closing in on the 2-inch mark for the month, and the average is 3.49. But if you add up September's average, 3.49, along with October's average, 2.81, you'd be looking at a little more than 6 inches. We could have 3 to 6 inches of rain just in the next 3 days, today, tomorrow, and Friday. So it's going to be one of those situations where we will get probably way more than you wanted, and it may come in with a price with some wind as well. Let's take a look at some of the modeling, because again, last night, this looked like the center of circulation could go east of Knoxville or west of Knoxville. The conventional thinking was that the center of this storm would move west, and that seems to be where things are trending even this morning. But this is where the hurricane winds will be in orange. This suggests 1 o'clock Thursday. It's closing in on what they call the Big Bend area of Florida. That's Apalachicola. Just north of that is Tallahassee, and then you got Tampa on the right side, west side there of the state. But you can see the circulation center, very impressive, and the orange area, which is at least a Category 1, estimated to be a Cat 3 when it makes landfall, would likely impact most devastatingly here with the winds and the storm surge across northern Florida. It looks like it's still holding its own as it approaches Albany, Georgia, and Macon. Looks like it's right over Atlanta by 3:30 in the morning on Friday. But some models wanted to take it toward Boone and Asheville, when this one lets us know it's probably going to go west. It's probably going to go toward Chattanooga, what's left of it, but that's going to bring some strong winds. Look at the winds in Gatlinburg. Tropical storm force winds in the Gatlinburg area, that's why it's yellow, at 8:15 Friday morning. So you can see the strong winds are going to be coming up out of the southeast in this scenario, and we're going to be dealing with very strong winds Thursday night, Friday morning. So that's my anticipation and what we will likely see unfold in the next couple of days. But here is the latest update. From 5 o'clock this morning, our friends at the National Hurricane Center has their cone, and they've got a Cat 2, 105 here on Thursday. By midday Thursday, they've moved it up from 115 to 120. So now they think it's even stronger. And I've talked to this about intensity more in detail with my premium members, but I will tell you this. If you've got a Cat 3 here, you've got storm surge, and it's going to be just a matter of time before it rolls closer to us in Atlanta. Atlanta's what, 3-hour drive? They have it as a Category 1 just south of Macon, 2 o'clock Friday morning with 75-mile-an-hour winds. And then if you kind of do the math, because it's like it's headed toward Cookeville, Friday 1 p.m. with winds of 35. That's why I think it's easy to assume we're going to get 45 to 50 mile-an-hour gusts, much higher in the Smokies. But this is really kind of where you have to interpolate. Okay, it says 70 there, and it says 35 there. 75 there, 35. Yeah, we're at 45, 50 plus, I think is certainly reasonable to expect. And then you can see it does take a hard left turn and kind of dances in place. So we'll be seeing that kind of park itself for a couple of days to our west. But this is where things are shaping up. By the way, it's 6:52. My goal is to be done at the top of the hour at 7 o'clock. I still have time for some comments and some questions. But here's the interesting thing. I want to show you two, not just one, two models and rainfall data. Both of them suggest it's heavier on the east side of I-75. This one puts, quite a bit of rain, Jamestown, Crossville, over 2.5 to 3. But this would suggest over 4 inches through Saturday morning on the 28th, between now and then. And some areas in purple could be closer to 6. This suggests almost 8 inches for Mount LeConte. So you're going to vary quite a bit. And tropical rainfall is not these models, they're not good at it. All right, these models are not good. They don't handle tropical. Why? Because the water drop is so small. They accumulate a lot faster. Your tropical rains may be significantly higher than what you would see here. That's why I think it's easily 3 to 6, but could be locally higher. And we're going to be dealing with, I say, flooded backyards. This model wants to put, you can clearly see over 8 inches, probably some white areas over 9 in Asheville, maybe Bryson City. But this would suggest 3 to 6 is not off the table. So just be mindful, between now and this weekend, you're going to find quite a bit of rain, and you may have gotten more than you wished for, but the words, "make it stop," those words will be uttered, I'm sure, many of us under our breath when this rain comes down fast and furious, which it still has the potential to do. But we're not an island unto ourselves. You can see some that looks like 11 inches around Asheville based on this modeling, and over toward Atlanta. The white areas would suggest nearly a foot. So a lot of rain will be coming in. The question is, will you be ready for it? 7-day forecast from the Hurricane Center. Their outlook has an 80% chance in the middle of the Atlantic. That's probably going to be called Isaac. And a 20% chance, look, they're in the middle of the Atlantic. I don't know if that's even going to verify beyond the 20%, but we'll see what happens. I can say that we've crossed off Helene, but we do have Isaac, Joyce, and Kirk on the on-deck circle. That's where things are at the moment. Plenty of clouds in place. As you can see here, I did indicate a moment ago that the sunrise and sunset time, they nearly match. Well, I thought the equinox was on Sunday. It is. But maybe because of the curvature of the Earth, it's 3 days later from the actual equinox, which was on Sunday. And in spring, it's 3 days before. think about it. You have to do a Google search on that, right? But at least in Knoxville, our sunrise sunset time are practically the same. Tomorrow, I believe the sun sets at 7:26. So yeah, I'd say between today and tomorrow, we're pretty much equal. Our equal days and equal nights come in the middle of the week when we were celebrating fall back on Sunday. By the way, bus stop forecast as you're out the door. Some of us are going to have some downpours. Some of you have already seen that as we talked about around Corinth and back maybe toward Antioch. But there are some downpours right now going on, and temperatures mid-70s for pickup. Temperature right now 74, Chattanooga, 69 in Knoxville, 67 in Johnson City. Let me take a look at some of the comments. I got a couple of prayer hands from Shirley. Brock, good to see Shirley here. And Wanda Post is encouraging everybody, stay safe. Please don't drive through high water. It's always a good idea. Diane's noting here on YouTube, she says, my girls are in St. Petersburg, and they're already prepared for this event. Good thing. Always important to have preparation, especially if you live along the coast, because they tend to expect something to occur during hurricane season. This year has been no exception. There's been quite a bit of activity, it seems like, as of late. Dew point temperatures are swampy in the upper 60s. Let's get to the headlines. It's now 6:56. I'm wrapping up here with the last part of this live stream. Rainy today with flooding possible. Watching Helene Thursday and Friday, because the winds are not, I repeat, not going to be a problem today. But the gusts could pick up 45 to 50 plus Thursday into early Friday morning. I'll have more on that in the days to come. Right now, 69 degrees. We are fully saturated. Relative humidity at 100%. We have a light wind at 3. We have some fog in the area. Valley Planner takes us only to 76 when the normal high is 80. And when I say 100% chance of rain, doesn't mean it's going to rain every minute of the day at your house, because it's all about our house, right? My house. But it will rain today. 100% chance you get wet today, but some of you have already got it while you slept. As I said, 0.67 occurred just since midnight in the last 6 hours. Some of you are still getting rain at this hour. So it seems like it's high. It will be high, and it'll make up for lost time if you don't get heavier rains today. We got Thursday to get through, and then we have Friday. So you've got it all on the table. Chance of rain 40% next Sunday and Monday. Storm Prediction Center talking about some colors. Yes, they've changed this map. This was not even dark green in Tennessee yesterday. But now all of a sudden you have all this green area in parts of the Gulf. Clearly we have some severe thunderstorms isolated that might occur from Houston to Miami, and yes, toward Atlanta and even Knoxville, as it looks like it's kind of slicing East Tennessee in half. Parts of Knox County is under isolated risk for severe storms today, while the western half is not. So we could include not include Fountain City or Hardin Valley, but certainly South Knoxville. Imes Nature Center would be under that risk. Morristown, Newport for some isolated severe storms today. Bigger chance tomorrow will be in Savannah and maybe back towards Statesboro. It's Charleston, Jacksonville, Florida will have scattered severe storms tomorrow, while we will have general thunderstorms. Nothing severe expected, but again, these maps tend to change from the Storm Prediction Center when you have a fluid storm known as Helene. Right now, Friday, the best chance seems like it's Raleigh, Durham, and Virginia Beach, as they may have some isolated severe storms on Friday. By the way, it's 6:58. I'm going to wrap things up here with your Futurecast. As you can see, we've got a front that's stalling. You can see it's stalling. It's actually acting like a conduit. It's like the railroad track. And as it stalls, it's going to be firing up more wet weather, not only today, but again tonight. You can find some heavy rain tonight. Look at that red area. That's before sunrise tomorrow. That's 7:15. You better be prepared if you're in East Tennessee for some downpours between now and tomorrow morning. Maybe it doesn't happen this morning at 6:58, but it will likely begin to spin in here like this. This is what's concerning. And it doesn't take long. With all this tropical moisture, you can see the spin. Look how that decaying hurricane, we'll call it a tropical storm, turns into a low, but it will bring with it some nasty winds, and trees could topple, which means power outages. Did I mention power outages? That's probably a thing too. We got to watch that for as well, because you're going to have a wet ground, and because the ground is so hard and crunchy, it may not absorb it like it might want to if it were slow and steady. This is going to be a fast and furious rain because it's tropical. For today, clouds, plenty of them. Mainly gray, fog, showers, storms, flooding. Got everything except the wind today. 74 for Wartburg, 75 for Campbell County, La Follette, 75 for Morristown, as well as Russellville. 78 if you're traveling to Chattanooga, 77 in Atlanta. They're going to deal with more wet weather as well. Tonight we're down to 64 with rain, storms, fog, and you feel like, man, make it stop. We still have Thursday, Friday to get through. Winds 5 to 10 plus. The winds will be picking up in earnest, especially Thursday afternoon and night. Tonight, we're down to 64 in Newport, 63 in Oak Ridge, 62 in Kingston. Our friends in La Follette and Crossville should be in the upper 50s, about 58. Here's your Captain Accurate Weather Authority forecast for Knoxville, East Tennessee. Much cooler tomorrow. Well, cooler by the tune of 4 degrees, 72. So if you think today's cool, wait till tomorrow. 79 on Friday. We'll probably get a little bit of sunshine for the second half of the day, but the spin-around showers, the winds will still be brisk. Very gusty on Friday. Saturday, 82, spots of rain, showers and storms. Of course, I'll revisit the extended part of this forecast. It's the next 3 days I'm most concerned about, as I would imagine many of you will be concerned about as well. Want to say hello to Linda Rice. She says, good morning, David. Thanks for keeping us updated. Have a blessed day. Great to see Linda here. And I think many of you who've made some notes here. I got a note here from Fred. I didn't mention Fred because everything was flying in here. Got lots of comments. He mentions he's got 69 degrees in Maryville, and he's getting ready for the heavy rain. Thank you, Fred, for your support and for being here as well. Well, my name is David Aldrich. Some people call me Captain Accurate. It's not easy being accurate, so weather doesn't surprise you. We'll see you here next time. Take care.